What is up, my spiritual weirdo hot messes out there? Well, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, my name is Tani Michelle, and basically I'm just another spiritual ass bitch here on the internet doing weird astrology, tarot, and other types of weird videos like that. And weird is not a bad thing for me, so please just keep out of the comments like, oh my god, you shouldn't call yourself that. And basically, welcome to the Cancer solar eclipse, the biggest eclipse of 2020 video. So let's go ahead and get into this. We are doing this particular solar eclipse video a little bit differently because I am a hot ass mess, like I kind of said in the beginning. We are just, you know, I feel like everybody is in their own way, but yeah, I'm a hot ass mess and did not finish the signs again, and I really do apologize, but I'm not going to get into it too much because I know you guys are probably sick of hearing it. Been doing a lot of work on myself. I might do another whole video on why I've been so inconsistent and really messy lately. But anyways, we are going to talk about why this eclipse is a big ass deal, and we're going to talk about why it's a big ass deal for your sign. Rising sign will resonate most, but first we're going to talk about why it's a big ass deal for everybody, and then we'll go into the signs, and I'm going to pull 2 cards out of these really cool decks for each sign so we can get an idea of what this eclipse is going to be like for your sign. And yeah, basically it's probably the most powerful eclipse of 2020. It's happening today on the summer solstice. Well, it's technically happening June 21st at 2:40 a.m. in the morning Eastern Standard Time, so adjust to your time accordingly. I'm going to try to record my screen so you guys can see what the hell I'm talking about, like I've been doing, because I know you guys have really appreciated that. But yeah, there's a lot going on. We have a lot of Cancerian energy. The sun is now in Cancer, which is making it Cancer season. So what the fuck is Cancer? So Cancer is one of the 12 zodiac signs, and Cancer is basically the mother of the zodiac. It's the only sign that is ruled by the moon, okay? And so we have this really intense, feminine, emotional, sensitive, empathetic kind of energy with it. It is nurturing, it is self-care, it is our childhood, our past, how we mother and how we are mothered by the motherly figures or feminine figures in our life. It doesn't even necessarily have to be your mom. It could be your grandpa. You know, maybe he mothered you in a certain way. Each of us has both masculine and feminine energy, so this isn't just if you're a Cancer, you have to be a girl, because obviously that's not true. Cancer is just a feminine sign. It's a cardinal water sign, meaning that cardinal is always the first. It leads us into each season. So because Cancer leads us into summer, Cancer is the cardinal water sign. So it's the initiator of the water signs. We're dealing with a lot of emotional, sentimental, meaningful energy. And the reason why this eclipse is so important one of the reasons why it's so important is because we are finishing a series of eclipses in the sign of Cancer. Okay, so this is the last eclipse. By the way, I have a missing nail, so just excuse that. I'm a fucking human. Like I said, I'm a fucking mess. It's not a bad thing. And yeah, so basically this is one of the last eclipses, well, the last eclipse that we will have in Cancer for the next like 8 years. Okay, so this is a big freaking deal, and it's it's a degree away from the North Node, which has moved into Gemini, but the North Node's at the very last degree of Gemini, right before Gemini turns into Cancer, and the new moon is right at 0 degrees Cancer, so they're very, very close. They're like right next to each other, basically. And so that's why this eclipse is so powerful, because the nodes tell us where the eclipses will be. Now, what an eclipse is when the sun and the moon are aligned together, okay? So the Earth is right here, and then the sun and the moon are over to the side. So it's a big deal. Eclipse season, this is the halfway point of eclipse season. We have one more eclipse, which will not be a full eclipse. It will be a partial eclipse in Capricorn in 2 weeks. So eclipse seasons are very, very intense. They bring up a lot of energy. They bring up a lot of karmic, fated energy, a lot of changes. So be careful out there right now. The energy is going to be very sensitive. So what can come up with this Cancer solar eclipse is a lot of memories, okay? Because now Mercury is retrograding also in the sign of Cancer. So it's going to bring up a lot of memories, a lot of past situations, possible past emotional situations, since we're dealing with that really heavy emotional energy, very sentimental situations, anything with sentiment, meaning, value, situations with feminine or motherly figures, whether man or female, situations with childhood, just anything like that. We're really getting into this emotional space. And I did write a whole really deep and detailed blog about how to use your emotions to heal practically anything. I went really in depth in that blog, and I discussed a lot of the work that I do with my clients, my students, my Patreon members, and my friends, my family, myself. And so if you are into spirituality, which I'm guessing most of you are if you're watching this video, and you've been trying to heal something, or you've been struggling with really intense or overwhelming emotions, depression, really anything. I mean, emotions are the source of everything. They are powerful because emotions are energy. So when we have an emotion about something, it's a reaction to an experience that we're having, and that emotion is basically source, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, expressing itself through us because we are the vessel in which it's being expressed in, and all that great shit. So basically, go read that blog. I go into a lot of detail, and it will really, I know it's really helped me, because I used to be the type of person that would just literally numb myself out as much as I could with drugs or anything to escape my emotions. I did not like emotions. I felt them very deeply. I have moon square Pluto, so I feel on a very deep level. And so just go read that blog. It goes into it. I really broke it down to help explain why it's a big deal, how emotions get blocked and cause disease, illness, mental illness, psychological illness, blockages, pain, all kinds of other shit, because it ends up manifesting in a physical sense. And so just go read the blog. I'll link it down below. It's on my website. It's free. You don't have to do anything. And yeah, and then we'll be having a solar eclipse ritual tonight together in over on my Patreon at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know if this video will be up before then, so if not, the ritual will still be available even after we're done. It will still be up to watch, you know, the afterplay or whatever. So it's available for all $5 and up members on Patreon. So definitely go check that out if you're interested. It's going to be very powerful. So anyways, let's get to the chart and see what the fuck is going on here in this chart. I'm going to go ahead and record my screen here so you guys can see what the hell is going on. Okay, so as you can see down here at the very bottom at 0 degrees and 21 seconds, we have the moon and the sun here. I'm sorry, 0 degrees and 21 minutes. What am I talking about? 0 degrees and 21 minutes. I can't talk. Mercury retrograde is the moon and the sun here in the sign of Cancer. We also have Mercury a little bit more in the middle of Cancer at 14 degrees, which is now retrograde. And yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. And so the reason that this is eclipse is because, as you can see, the node is right here at 29 degrees Gemini, and then the moon and the sun are right next door. Basically, even though they're in different signs, they're still right there on the cusp of the Gemini and Cancer axis. So this is why this eclipse is going to be an eclipse, is because it's so close to the North Node in Gemini. Okay, so we have the solar eclipse happening right here in Cancer. Okay, so before we go any further, I had to mention this because I completely forgot to mention this in the video. You guys know I always like to look at the Sabian symbols for each eclipse because I think it gives a metaphor which gives context to what this eclipse is going to be about for us on a collective level. And this one is so interesting given what's going on in the world. So the Sabian symbol for this eclipse would be 1 degree Cancer because it rounds to 1 degree. It says, on a ship, the sailors lower an old flag and raise a new one. And then the website I always go to read the Sabian symbols, I will link down below. I love her website, and she gives context to each Sabian symbols. There's actually more on what she thinks this means on her website, so I definitely suggest to go check that out if you're an astrology nerd like I am. But her keynote says, a radical change of allegiance, exteriorized in a symbolical act, a point of no return. And given everything that's going on in the world, on a ship, the sailors lower an old flag and raise a new one. That's exactly what's happening in the world right now. You can think of it as symbolically or literally, I mean, almost, right? So I thought this was so interesting, and I think this is a huge theme of what we're going to be seeing and what this solar eclipse is bringing to the table and has already been bringing to the table, because I think for me personally, I feel the moon phases a lot before they actually get to a full moon, new moon, eclipse, whatever. And so let me know what you guys think about it down below. So basically, like I said, Cancer is emotional energy, very, very emotional energy. Cancer is represented by the crab because that outer hard layer protects the soft insides of the crab. You can kind of think about it. And so Cancer has this kind of mothering energy to it, very kind of soft, but also very sensual, very emotional, very meaningful, very sentimental, nurturing. All of these words are kind of the key words that you think about with Cancer. Cancer also rules our childhood and our past and any kind of emotional traumas, like really kind of any emotional experiences that we have, whether it's traumas, whether it's like, you know, bomb-ass emotional experiences. Doesn't really matter. Cancer kind of rules all of that, and the mothering archetype, and also intuition. Okay, so with Mercury in Cancer going retrograde, this is, and this solar eclipse, this is a huge reflection moment, even though it's a solar eclipse new moon, so it's technically like a blank slate, a refresh button, but also it's a huge reflection moment since this is the last solar eclipse in Cancer for 8 years at least. Okay, so this is a huge reflection moment on about like the last 18 months or so. You want to think around November 2018. That was when we first started having eclipses in the sign of Cancer. And so what was going on in your life then, and what's changed then? What has the Cancer North Node taught you and brought into your life? And where can you kind of revise, reflect? What needs to still be healed? What do you need to let go of? How can you still nurture and take care of yourself? And what has meaning? And that's what I think Cancer North Node has been teaching us. It's been teaching us how to go within more, how to be more comfortable within our own bodies, just like the crab. When it goes inside its shell, it's not scared to go within, right? And also, what's meaningful in our lives, you know, like it's about getting back to family, and family isn't always blood, and I get that, but it's about getting back to center, getting back to our heart space, getting back to what we love, like truly love, what truly means something and has some kind of sentimental value to us. And so that's what we've been kind of going through. Now, this new moon solar eclipse is also squaring Mars and Pisces. So if you remember, for the last eclipse that we just had 2 weeks ago, the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, which was a partial eclipse because it wasn't close enough to the node, that was also squaring Mars. And what's interesting is the next eclipse that we're going to have in Capricorn, I'm pretty sure it's also squaring Mars, but Mars will be in Aries. So Mars has now officially passed Neptune since the last eclipse, thank God, because that was some crazy ass energy, and is now at 25 degrees Pisces, squaring down here to the sun and moon in the sign of Cancer. So this means that there could be some tension, especially in the sign of Pisces. This is bringing up emotional issues in ourselves and in the collective that need to be faced, that need to be addressed, not resisted, not fought, not separated, because chances are we've already done that and that hasn't freaking worked. So what needs to be faced? What needs to be addressed? This is definitely turning the heat up on us when it comes to what we basically may need to still work on in our lives. Now, this is kind of a loose square because Mars is at 25 degrees, so it is 5 degrees off, so it's still technically a square, but it's a little bit of a loose one. I'm going to say that, in my opinion. Now, what also is going on, like I said, we have Mercury retrograde, and what's interesting about this is it's also in the sign of Cancer, and it's squaring Chiron. So what I see here is like the final kind of test almost of the last 18 months of what we've learned and what we've learned over these last few years and possibly even longer. Like, Cancer is asking us, do you remember what I just taught you? You know, are you going to keep living in this superficial kind of, you know, world or reality that's breaking down in front of you? Or are you going to get your shit together and learn to love not only yourself but others? Are you going to get your shit together and learn to empathize and learn to, you know, be more compassionate and learn to really go after what's meaningful rather than what just looks good on the outside, which is kind of the opposite energy of Cancer, more Capricorn energy. So this Mercury retrograde is kind of, and the solar eclipse is kind of like putting a huge spotlight on this Cancer energy for the last time for 8 years when it comes to, you know, eclipses in general. I'm sure Mercury will retrograde there again eventually, but you know, just the eclipse itself, it's putting that last kind of spotlight on Cancer, you know, for the next 8 years. Like, what did you learn here? And what still needs to be healed? How does your emotional body still need some kind of healing? And Mercury retrograde here is going to make sure that we address these final things, that we really expand our emotional intelligence, not only about ourselves, but about the people that we care about in our lives, and about the collective as a whole, and about society as a whole. How can we find a home and comfort and safety, which are all things that Cancer deals with, in the midst of chaos? And how can we meet our needs? You know, Cancer also is somewhat like our needs. So how can we meet our needs? How can we face our needs and address our needs, even when it feels like they may not be being met? How can we do it for ourselves? How can we surrender, Mars and Pisces, how can we surrender and really, you know, understand in a more empathetic way and open our hearts up to change? Mars and Pisces again. So with Mercury squaring Chiron, this is addressing old wounds that we have within ourselves and our individuality, old wounds that we have with our confidence even, and, you know, standing up and asserting ourselves and being direct with that Aries energy. So this is definitely bringing up old wounds, old memories, old, you know, situations, even people from the past that had some kind of meaning, purpose, or sentiment that need to be addressed in order for us to move forward emotionally and, you know, in a way that feels more comfortable, safe, and understood by not only us but other people, if that makes sense. So that is basically what I see here with this Cancer solar eclipse. I'm trying to keep it as short as I can so we can get to the signs. So let's go ahead and start with the signs. So the first sign we're going to start with is the sign of Cancer. So if you are a Cancer ascendant, this is likely going to resonate more for you than it will if you're a Cancer sun or moon, but you can still listen if you're a Cancer sun or moon because it still may resonate. So this event is happening in your sign, Cancer. So this is definitely, you know, it's been all about you for the last 18 months up until the node finally moved out of your sign. So it's been really trying to get you to address the areas of your life, the karmic lessons of your life, and learn how to trust in yourself more, how to take care of yourself more, how to nurture yourself more, how to meet your own needs, and also who you are as a person and how you reflect that to other people. And so I really feel like it's been a lot about finding your own independence and also really just reflecting on who you are as a person. So this event, like I said, is squaring Mars and Pisces, and Pisces is your 9th house. So what this means is this is possibly bringing up old beliefs or possibly even issues with getting out of your comfort zone, issues with change or issues with other people's beliefs. This is definitely possibly some kind of deep-rooted belief or cause or something that you want to do or something that you want to be a part of out in the world. You may be questioning your purpose lately, and if you feel that you can make effective change. But this eclipse is trying to show you something within yourself. And what I really see here is before you can make a change in your life or externally, the change has to come from within first, Cancer, is really what I see here right now. Now, also, we have Mercury retrograde in your sign. So this is also a lot of self-reflection for you for the next month or so. A lot. And remember that eclipses can affect us up to 6 months after they happen, possibly even longer. So just kind of be aware of that. But this is definitely putting a spotlight. You may feel super emotional or disoriented lately, like you can't communicate. Or like you can't communicate properly, or you're having trouble communicating your emotions. So try to take things a little bit slow. Try to rest, take it easy on yourself, take care of yourself. I mean, this is the perfect time to really make sure that you're taking care of yourself, that your body is getting enough water. I don't know why I want to tell you that, but that, you know, you're taking care of your body, your appearance, all of that. So your card, we have, your first card is Ancestral Wisdom. It says, we are your ancestors, we love you, we walked the earth many years before you. We ask at this poignant time, I don't even know if I said that right, to learn and grow from our past experiences. You are our legacy and will keep on helping you as we continue to evolve here in the spirit world. So, it does look like you may be feeling your ancestors with you lately, or, you know, something along those lines, like you may be feeling people that have passed on, or people that, I don't know, you just may be feeling like your ancestors are with you. You may be having dreams or visions, or just like this feeling like someone's beside you or someone's guiding you. If you're doing something for this new moon, like a ritual, ceremony, spell, whatever, maybe call upon your ancestors, okay? But that's definitely interesting that you got this card, since you are the sign of ancestors. So this is definitely going to be coming up. Maybe you're looking into the origin of where you're from, your family, or you should do something like that, you know, getting some kind of work done. Plus with that square to Mars and Pisces in your 9th, that can also be like telling me that, you know, maybe you're looking through your origins, like where you're from or whatever. So we also have surrender to passion. Get out of your head and feel the fire in your belly. Focus on the people or activities that ignite your passion and let it flow. Wow, okay. Okay, so yeah, you definitely have some kind of passion going on here, Cancer. Something that you really want to do in the world, I feel like, but you feel stuck. And I think this new moon is going to really show you why you're stuck or why you may be holding your own self back. It's also going to show you what it is that you truly want to do. It's kind of going to be like an emotional, mental, spiritual reset button, but you're going to gain clarity, I think, over the next month on why that is. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Cancer. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the sign of Leo. So Leo, this is a really big eclipse for us because this is ending this last 18-month cycle that we've been going through with, you know, the eclipses in our 12th and 6th houses. So this eclipse is going to be the last eclipse in our 12th house. Okay, so this is very, very interesting. So the 12th house is a very, very spiritual house. And so this is going to be a lot of dreams, a lot of subconscious energy coming to the surface, a lot of memories resurfacing, a lot of past stuff coming up, even past life stuff, karmic, fated stuff, information, channeling, synchronicities from other realms. It's a very, very highly spiritual time. Now, another big theme I've noticed, because I'm a Leo rising myself, if you didn't know, is that this is also bringing up fear. Okay, our deepest, darkest fears, even fears from past lives. So that's definitely something to be aware of. I don't know if any of you guys have been experiencing that, but it's insane. There's just a lot of memories, a lot of dreams, a lot of really important stuff coming up to really kind of play something out here, to really kind of integrate something as a part of us here instead of separating it, if that makes sense. So this Cancer eclipse, like I said, is happening in our 12th house. It deals with healing, really healing endings, you know, subconscious, our subconscious mind, our subconscious nature, our memories. We have Mercury retrograde here too. So this is a great time to go on a retreat or to kind of go internal, to shut off social media, to get away from the world, and to really focus on yourself. Now with this square to Mars happening in Pisces, this is happening in our 8th house, and that's why the 12th and the 8th house are like the most kind of spooky houses in the chart. And so we have so much going on with these two houses that are aspecting each other. So there's just a lot of kind of dark energy, but it's not evil. It's coming up for us to address it, okay? It's coming up for us to address it. This could also be sexuality issues, taboo issues, also even like addiction issues or self-sabotaging issues. That's another big thing. What subconscious patterns are you stuck in, or even addictions? And addictions isn't always just like a substance. It can be shopping. It can be just something that you're addicted to doing all the time. What habits or patterns have you been stuck in and that you've been working on for a while? But, you know, this eclipse is kind of like this final point of like emotional clarity and healing that needs to be done for your consciousness in order for you to expand and keep going. So it's kind of like a beginning and an ending all at once, you know, and it may not happen right now. It, you know, may happen over the next few weeks, because like I said, eclipses can affect us up to 6 months or a year. Okay, so this could, whatever happens at this eclipse could be something big that really ripples for the, you know, the rest of the year. So really pay attention right now. This is like a lot of really highly spiritual, otherworldly energy for Leos. Okay, so we have hello from heaven. Your loved ones in the spirit world want to connect with you. Look at that. As much as you want to connect with them, they know you've been thinking of them, and they're sending you signs and symbols to show you how much they love you, to prove they're with you at this time. Wow, okay. So you could be having a lot of dreams about passed on loved ones around this time, or even some paranormal experiences. Just know that this is why, okay? That either there's a fear that you need to address, or there is somebody that has passed on that is trying to reconnect with you through some kind of sign or symbol. I'm really like getting pulled to this rose in the card. So for some of you, it could be a rose, it could be a feather. I actually just found a feather the other day. That's interesting. We have a butterfly here as well. And I'm trying to tap in intuitively to see if I'm kind of seeing anything. There is an old man that I'm intuitively feeling. For some of you, it feels like a grandpa or maybe a father figure. And then I'm also feeling like a motherly figure, possibly like 30s, 40s, maybe 50s. And then I'm also feeling there's Hold on, my phone's dying. I'm also feeling someone else that feels younger, like maybe it was a cousin. And I can't tell exactly their gender because they feel almost very balanced in their gender. So I'm not getting more masculine or more feminine. It almost feels like a balance, but it feels like a cousin, a nephew, maybe a sibling that's younger. So just intuitively, but even if none of that resonates with who you've lost, it doesn't matter. Just that's the message here, is that there's passed on loved ones that are with you right now, Leo. If you've been thinking about that or wondering, and there may be some trauma that needs to be faced when it comes to grief or something. So now we also have surrender negative thinking. You have control over your thoughts. Accept your thoughts, accept your negative thoughts for what they are. So this is very important as well. If you've been kind of in this loop of, you know, labeling every experience you have lately, or even these weird experiences you may have been having lately, which right now is a really intuitive time for us anyway, so we're really intuitively feeling things that maybe other people can't right now. But don't label it as bad right away. Don't always go to label it as negative, because that's coming from some kind of belief that you were either taught or that you experienced at a younger age. And so it may not be bad, that's just you labeling it, because bad really doesn't exist. It's a human term. It's based off perception. So just try to remember that. Be open to the experience. Read my blog, my new blog I mentioned in the beginning, down in the description below, all about how to work with your emotions and heal with your emotions, definitely. So that's what I'm getting for Leos. So now we are going to move on to the sign of Virgo. So Virgo. So it's going to resonate more if you're a Virgo rising, but even if you're a Virgo sun or moon, that's fine too. You may resonate as well. So for Virgo risings, this solar eclipse is happening in the 11th house, and the 11th house deals with our friend groups, our social circles, our place in the world. It also deals with what we want out of life, our wishes, our dreams. It also deals with charities and causes and helping out in the world. And in the sign of Cancer, you've been really learning for the past 18 months how to have more compassion with other people, how to empathize more with other people, okay, how to find your heart center and how to really be there or help other people in the world. And what kind of groups and you know, social circles and events and organizations you want to be a part of. Now, with this new moon solar eclipse happening there, squaring Mars and Pisces in your 7th house, there could be some realizations here to do with your relationships and what you want to do out in the world, or any cause that you're trying to, you know, be a part of out in the world. Now, Mars is has been in your opposite sign of Pisces. Like I said, it's been in there for like, I think over a month now. So you've probably been dealing with a lot of tension in relationships or in your close relationships. And there may be something here that you may need to forgive, and not necessarily like welcome this person back in your life if you don't feel like that's necessary, but just forgive for yourself or surrender for yourself. This is kind of like seeing the other side and seeing what you want out of life, and if you want something out of life with this person or not. It's kind of like almost seeing, this is like a moment where you address an issue with a relationship and the potential of that relationship or person. Now also with the new moon here in your 11th house, this is also your commitments, your agreements with your social life. You know, this is like trying to help you feel safe with other people or around other people. So that could be something else that you're trying to work on here, and Mercury retrograde is going to help you work with that, okay? Now, yeah, so that's what I'm seeing there. So the cards that you have are Find Your Center. It says your outside world is a reflection and a manifestation of what's going on inside of you at this time. When the outside world becomes so hectic and stressful that your anxiety starts to overwhelm you, when this is an ideal moment to stop and ask, when was the last time I checked with myself. Okay, so this is about really opening up your heart and really kind of checking in with yourself. And because I think that there could be some self-esteem issues here when it comes to other people. Like maybe you don't feel good enough for other people, or you are scared to put yourself out there, or there's just some kind of relationship issue, some kind of issue involving other people. It doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship. It can be any significant relationship in your life. We also have surrender to low self-esteem, so that really goes with what I was saying as well. It says, you deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. Okay, so, and you may not even feel this way, Virgo. This could be a past situation. Okay, this could be a past situation where you put yourself out there and maybe you weren't received or you felt rejected. And so this would be the time to start emotionally healing those wounds, okay? And really emotionally healing in general to find your place in the world. And you can definitely look at my blog that I was talking about in the beginning down below in the description to kind of see how you can start healing the emotional body and to have more of an emotional confidence within yourself, and which will definitely help with knowing yourself, your authenticity, and raising your self-esteem and your emotional confidence. Okay, so that is what I'm seeing for Virgos. We're going to move on to the sign of Libra. Okay, so for Libras, my fellow Libras, this eclipse is happening in your 10th house, okay, of Cancer. We also have Mercury retrograde there in your 10th house as well. And so this is all about your goals, your achievements, your growth, where you're going in life, what you want out of life, your career field, and all of that. So you've been learning for the past 18 months what it is that you want out of life and how to be comfortable with what you want out of life and how to be comfortable with authority figures or people that are in your career field, and really just how to be comfortable out in the world rather than closing yourself off from the world, if that makes sense. So this eclipse is really shining a spotlight in those areas to you or for you to help you kind of see what still needs to be done and where you still may be lacking being comfortable in these areas. Now, this eclipse, like I said, is squaring Mars and Pisces is your 6th house. So this is your work, your daily routine, your daily schedules, the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your health, diets, and regimes, and all of that, and just where you practice service to others. And so it's funny because we had this card of support come out, and that's exactly what I'm seeing here. I feel like a lot of you feel unsupported in your day-to-day job or day-to-day goals, projects, whatever the case may be, your schedules. Maybe you feel like if you're in a relationship with someone, or if you have family or whatever, maybe you just don't feel supported in some way or in some area of your life. And so this is kind of asking you to almost surrender something. There's kind of like a need, I feel here, for you to surrender something, for you to, like you've been really fighting to try to get something done, or to try to be seen, or to try to get support for something, or to try to really do what you love, but there's some kind of like blockage here. So let's read what the card says. It says, people come into your life for many different reasons. Some you learn from and then they move on, while others return often because you need to learn more from those individuals. Others remain beside you throughout your entire life. So there's definitely some issues I feel here for some of you. Maybe there's been someone that's been very flaky, or that ghosted you, or that was supposed to help you with something or support you, and they're just not, and you're like really confused about why they're not. And there's whoever this person or these people are, there's some kind of lesson that you're being taught for them. And I think there's some kind of lesson you're being taught from them. And I think this Cancer solar eclipse is showing you that, and Mercury retrograde here is showing you that as well. You are really reflecting and seeing clearly what needs to change and what needs to be faced within this career, life purpose, goal, reputation, authority, accomplishment sector of your life, if that makes sense. Now we also have surrender to passion, which says get out of your head and feel the fire in your belly. Focus on the people or activities that ignite your passion and let it flow. So if you've been focusing, Libra, too much on what you don't want in life rather than what you do want, then you could be stuck in this cycle where you feel like, you know, like you have so much to do that you haven't had time to really fuel your passions or something. There's some kind of block here when it comes to your inspiration and passionate energy. And so it's really important that you surrender to allow yourself, that you surrender to passion to allow yourself, because that's what, you know, when you're not passionate about something, it makes it so much harder to do it, and then there's this resistance that comes in. And I feel like a lot of you guys are in that kind of cycle. So surrender to passion, and yeah, that is what I'm getting for you guys. Let me know if that resonates down below. And we're going to move on to the sign of Scorpio. So Scorpio, this new moon solar eclipse is happening in your 9th house. So this is all about your beliefs, your beliefs about, you know, why we're here, what's going on in the world, you know, your religious, philosophical beliefs, if you have any, your spiritual beliefs, but also your like any kind of long distance family, higher education, schooling, foreign travels, getting out of your comfort zones, taking risks, publishing. That's all the stuff that the 9th house rules. You have Mercury retrograde as well here, so you're going to definitely be reflecting on these things throughout the next month as well. Now, this is squaring Mars, which is in Pisces, which for you is your 5th house. Okay, so there's kind of like a block here, and like I feel like a lot of you feel like maybe you need a vacation, or you need some time away, or you want to have fun, or you want to do something, or you want freedom, some kind of freedom with something, or to not be held back with something. But there could be like family in the way, or there could be children, something going on with children. Either way, there's something that you really want or that you really desire. But I think that there is something holding you back. So this Cancer solar eclipse in your 9th house is going to highlight where it is that you may need to really focus on the meaning of things, okay? Like really focus on your heart and what your heart wants out of life, and what has meaning for you, like what intuitively feels right for your path and your journey, and less about what everybody else may want for you, if that's even a problem for you right now. Let's see, let me look at this for a minute. So I also think that this is definitely highlighting like your beliefs and kind of like what you emotionally feel attached to when it comes to beliefs. And there could be something that needs to change there, or needs to be surrendered to there. The cards that you have receive, and you have surrender the idea you can fix someone. Ooh, wow, interesting. Okay, so receive says you are a kind and loving soul who constantly reaches out and gives to others, but now it's time for you to learn how to graciously receive. Just as with the ebb and flow of the tides, the art of giving and receiving is the natural law and order of the universe. Interesting. And then it says it's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. Okay, so I think you've put a lot of effort or work into something that you may not feel like you're getting a lot back from it, if that makes sense. And this could be a person, a situation, whatever the case may be. And I think that what this is saying is to slow down and learn how to allow things to flow naturally instead of trying to resist it, fight it, work against it, and, you know, not try to constantly hold others accountable or be responsible or carry the burden all on your own of other people's responsibilities, if that makes sense. So let me know down below if that ends up resonating with you. If not, you can watch your other signs to see if they resonate as well. And we're going to move on to the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, so Sagittarius, this is going to be for mainly Sagittarius risings, but you may relate if you're a Sag sun or moon. So Sag, this new moon is happening in the sign of Cancer, which for you is your 8th house. So the 8th house is very kind of taboo. It's all about, you know, transformation. It's all about other people's money, other people's finances. So things like loans, your partner's money, joint resources that you have with someone else, credit, bankruptcy, debt, all of these kinds of things. And you've been having this energy, this Cancer energy going on for you for the last 18 months, and this is really closing that cycle for you. So I think it's really asking you, what have you learned, Sag, with this Cancer energy in your 8th house, Mercury retrograde here? You're really cleaning up like the last details when it comes to anything that you've learned in those areas that I named off. Now with Cancer in your 8th house, this could even mean like a reliance on family. This solar eclipse could have something to do with detaching you from some kind of reliance on family, or even some kind of test with like a reliance on family or other people. So this definitely has a theme of support, I feel here, because it's squaring Mars in your 4th house, okay, and Pisces. So there's definitely kind of this theme of support, this theme of possibly even, you know, home, family, childhood, the past. It could even be bringing up some fears for you, Sagittarius, around this eclipse. But yeah, there's something here I really feel that you guys may need to address around this time when it comes to the support of the people close to you, and how to kind of, it's definitely giving you clarity in that area for a lot of you. And Mercury retrograde here is definitely going to help you tie that up as well. So the first card we have is self-sabotage, and the second card we have is surrender to the magic of who you are. Wow, so self-sabotage says when you learn to get out of your own way, there will be no stopping you. Most of the time, it's not others who prevent you from achieving your true goals. It's that inner voice that derails those carefully woven plans. And that's kind of what I see here with this Cancer 8th house for you. It's really understanding and learning how to address your own needs by either asking for help from the right people that you trust. Okay, so this is probably not a great time to, with that square to Mars in your 4th house, to ask for help or get support from people or give support to people that you don't trust. Okay, so let me read this again because I forgot what I just said. When you learn to get out of your own way, there will be no stopping you. Most of the time, it's not others who prevent you from achieving your true goals. It's that inner voice that derails those carefully woven plans. So yes, so make sure that you're really kind of looking out for yourself right now, Sag, and being safe and addressing your needs in a very careful, logical way. With Mercury retrograde in Cancer, I would try not to sign any contracts or trust anybody that seems dodgy around this eclipse. We also have surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. Awesome. So yeah, this is definitely, I think, showing you how to be independent And then through that independence, how to be okay with asking for help or okay with trusting other people, especially when it comes to your needs and resources, but learning how to trust the right people. And so you may be going through some experiences to learn those lessons. So that is what I'm getting for you, Sag. Let me know down below if any of that ends up resonating. And we're going to move on to Capricorn. What's going on, Capricorn? So this is for you guys. This is going to relate a little bit more if you're a Capricorn rising, aka ascendant. If you're Capricorn sun or moon, you may relate as well though. So just, you can listen anyway and see if it resonates, but just make sure you listen to all your signs. So what I see here, Capricorn, is this solar eclipse is happening in your opposite sign of Cancer for the last time for the next 8 years, which is really awesome. So this is kind of like an ending and a beginning all in one, because we have another partial eclipse in 2 weeks in your sign. So this is really going to bring up some things to the surface that still need to be addressed at the end of this 18-month cycle that we've been in, with the eclipses happening in yours and Cancer's sign. So this is really going to be about your shadow, your opposites, the things that frustrate you in other people, or the things that you're not seeing within yourself that are affecting other people, or other people that are affecting you, and you needing to kind of look at yourself. So this is kind of mirroring you in a way, Capricorn. It's kind of showing you and putting a really huge spotlight on things that you still need to address within yourself, your commitments, your relationships, and things that you may need to have a conversation about. But the problem is it's squaring Mars in your 3rd house. So there's kind of like an misunderstanding here, or a frustration here. And we even have surrender frustration for one of your cards. So I feel like you're really getting frustrated with certain actions or certain people in your life, or certain commitments or agreements or contracts in your life. Now is not a good time to sign a brand new contract, maybe revise something, or try to figure out new creative ways to deal with a certain commitment, agreement, or contract would be good. But this is going to, I feel like, highlight some issues for you that need to be faced and addressed, changed, and worked through. This could also be the cutting off of something in your life, a person, a place, whatever, a thing, a situation, an agreement, a commitment. I feel like it would likely be by you or another person now. So the other card you guys have is New Beginnings. It says everything in life is constantly vibrating and moving, and therefore continuously changing and evolving. Be aware that a new beginning is on the horizon. Have courage and faith, because right now life is trying to nudge you forward and move you in a new direction. Beautiful energy. We also have surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup, so you may approach the situation more clearly. So yes, I think that right now your mind might not all the way be clear about the situation. Something may happen and it may be a little foggy or a little hazy, and you may be like, whoa, what the hell just happened? But clarity is going to come over the next several weeks or months. Remember, this eclipse can cause really big events or changes that can affect us for the rest of the year. So this is definitely a whole new time for you guys, Capricorn, and it's going to be beautiful. So really try to practice breathing. Please read my How to Emotionally Heal blog that I just did. I went into a lot of depth about how you can use emotions at this time to heal, and how to deal with your emotions and all that, because you do have a lot of emotional energy coming up for you in places that deal with your commitments and communication and dealing with other people. Okay, so that is what I'm seeing for you guys, Capricorn. Let me know down below if that ended up resonating, and we're going to move on to the sign of Aquarius. What's going on, Aquarius? So this reading is for you. The solar eclipse is happening in the sign of Cancer, which is your 6th house of work, daily routines, schedules, meetings, your everyday kind of commitments that you have, your habits, your health routines. and things of that nature. So, and also kind of how you give back or serve other people, your responsibilities and things like that. So, I know, pretty boring. But this is one of the last solar eclipse that we have in this sign of Cancer for the next 8 years. Okay, so it's a pretty big deal. It's kind of like a beginning and end all in one. So this is going to bring you a lot of clarity, Aquarius, on what's been going on in this area of life for you with your work, your responsibilities, you know, any issues that you've been having with your schedules or, you know, your health or anything like that. It's definitely bringing a lot of intense energy, realizations, memories, and clarity and emotional energy to the surface here. But the eclipse is squaring Mars, which is in your second house. So this could be some issues with finances, values, morals, ethics coming to the surface here. This could be you kind of not getting along with a job or a boss or employees that you work with, or just having issues when it comes to your self-worth and what you're doing on an everyday basis, because the second house can be self-worth. It's really like, what do you have to offer? So your skills and your value, your worth is kind of being highlighted here, and there's something that needs to be faced here. And now Mercury is retrograde in your 6th house as well, so it could really be kind of you know, it could really be kind of bringing up things that you need to reflect on, or miscommunications in your everyday life, and really kind of reflecting on what it is that you want to put your time and energy to on a day-to-day basis. Your schedules, your meetings, the people in your life, and also if you're asking for help, because that's really coming up for me, Aquarius. Are you asking for help? And if not, why? Why aren't you asking for help? This is always putting tension on you to ask for help and to see what the hell you have going on subconsciously that is making you feel stuck, or like what you have to offer isn't good enough or needs to change in some way. So you have support here. People come into your life for many different reasons. Some you can learn from and then they move on, while others return often because you need to learn more from those individuals. Others remain beside you throughout your entire life. So the support tells me that there's definitely a theme here that you guys may need to ask for help with something, or may need more support in your life, that, or maybe you don't feel like your needs are being met, or like people aren't supporting you the way that you need supported, and it's okay to admit that, okay? We also have surrender to your belief in scarcity. So it says the universe is asking you to be open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. So this tells me that you guys either have a fear of scarcity, or you guys are used to scarcity and have a fear of abundance, okay? And this is what this solar eclipse is really bringing up for you to change around this time, that it's okay for you to have there's nothing wrong with having abundance. With a Pisces in the second house, I know you guys like to be modest, or, you know, help other people probably a lot, depending on your personal chart. Obviously, it's not going to be for all Aquarius risings, but to really give back. And I think that there's some beliefs that there's some subconscious beliefs and patterns that may be self-sabotaging you from really doing what you want to do on a day-to-day basis, and working from your heart space and understanding the value that you have to offer other people. Now we also have surrender to joy. So you guys had an extra card come out, so I just kept it. It says, a key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling during both the hard and easy times. Keep surrendering to more joy. So you're allowed to be happy, Aquarius. Like, you are allowed to have great things. You're allowed to. And some of you, I feel like you don't think you are. You guys have Saturn in your sign, which is rough, you know, restricting who you think you are and how you express yourself and just what you think about yourself. And so it's time to really get honest with yourself about why you think you don't deserve things, or why you think that, you know, you shouldn't be joyful or abundant, or why you don't want to ask for help. You know, so there's definitely something there that I think is gonna trigger you, that's gonna bring this to the surface for you to address and start healing. Definitely read my blog that I mentioned earlier down below about using your emotions to heal. It's super important around this time. And yeah, thank you. Let me know if you guys related to this, and we're gonna move on to Pisces. What's up, Pisces? So this is for those of you that are Pisces rising, sun, or moon, but rising may resonate more. Just make sure to watch all of your signs. And so this solar eclipse is happening in a place for you that is all about passion, creativity, what inspires you, and expressing that inspiration. Really what gets your heart going, like just opening your heart to inspiration. This is also about family, children, and just really like taking care of yourself, but in a fun and pleasurable self-care kind of way. But this solar eclipse is squaring Mars in your sign. So there is some tension here that I feel like this is bringing up, and it could have to do with your expression or your emotional expression, how you're expressing yourself, or if you're letting out your passions, your desires, and what you really want. And this solar eclipse is really mirroring this to you. It's really bringing this up to you. It's really, you're gonna really feel this solar eclipse, Pisces. It's really trying to, it may even like trigger you to really understand what it is that your heart wants and desires, what it is that you truly want when it comes to your passions, your inspirations, your pleasures, but also how you express yourself, children, or even family. Okay, so it's definitely really triggering you. It may even be triggering you to put yourself out there or stand up for yourself or something along those lines. But it definitely seems like there could be some kind of block in order, like there could be some kind of block when it comes to your passion, your inspirations, children, something along those lines. So, you know, and I think this could also have something to do with, you know, needing to forgive yourself, or needing to have more self-confidence, have more confidence within yourself, if that makes sense. And Mercury is retrograding here for the next month too, so you're going to be working on this for quite a few weeks. And this could be an event that happens that ends up rippling throughout the rest of the year as well, since it is a solar eclipse and a very powerful one. So your cards here, we have new beginnings, surrender to silence, and surrender to low self-esteem. So Pisces, surrender to silence is really sticking out for me. Maybe you guys need a vacation, or maybe you guys need, I really feel like you need some time to yourself. You need some time to yourself. You need some time to deal, you know, with this resistance in you to something. It says, in quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. So that's perfect for what I see here. There's some kind of resistance to something. And I think this solar eclipse is going to give you clarity on it, but it's only going to happen in stillness and silence, so you can really understand what this resistance is. Now, you can also read my blog that I've been talking about through this whole video about how to emotionally heal. That's linked down below. I go super deep into all of this kind of stuff. So we also have new beginnings. It says everything in life is constantly vibrating and moving, and therefore continuously changing and evolving. Be aware that a new beginning is on the horizon. Have courage and faith, because right now life is trying to nudge you nudge you forward and move you in a new direction. So this could be some inner child healing as well that needs to happen, or some stuff from your childhood that is that is being brought up. And I feel like it has to do with validation, Pisces. There could be some validation issues, like maybe you weren't validated as a child, or you're not validating yourself, or others aren't validating you. So with this new beginning, there's definitely something happening here that is trying to show you something to initiate this new beginning for you. We also have surrender to low self-esteem. It says you deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. So that really goes into it too. So this is really pushing you to stand up for yourself, to be more confident within yourself. But first you have to get to know yourself. So kind of what I see here is, like I was talking about in the beginning, Cancer is the crab. So this is really going inside of yourself and sitting with yourself. Instead of, you know, with Mars in your first house, it's giving you like this hard shell, like you want to fight it, or you want to resist something, or try to change something. But the new moon, solar eclipse, and Mercury retrograde is like, no, you need to go inside. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here for you, Pisces. There could be something that you're working on from home right now that could really that you may be stuck with as well. That could be an issue, but let me know down below if any of that resonated. And we're going to move on to Aries. What's up, Aries? So this is your solar eclipse reading. So this solar eclipse for you guys is happening in your 4th house of Cancer. So this is all about family, the home life, where you feel safe, where you feel at home, your needs, any kind of motherly or womanly figures in your life. And then also any past experiences, childhood experiences, memories, you know, things of sentimental value. All of these kinds of things are being brought up. It's very, very much related to the past for Aries rising people, especially. Very much related to the past, your subconscious, possibly traumas, healing, karmic, fated events, also possibly fears. Okay, so this is a big deal for a lot of you Aries people. It's going to feel you're going to be able to feel it very intensely. It could be affecting your sleep cycles, your dreams. You could have a lot of dreams that are trying to tell you something or show you something that may be blocked or resistant within yourself. There could also be a theme of past lives here coming up for a lot of Aries people, and just things that need to end, be surrendered, forgiven, or some kind of closure, especially from the past. So this is interesting. We have surrender to divine timing. It says sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. So this definitely, I think, is very otherworldly and really asking you to be more patient. There could be like something with Mars right behind your sign right now. You could feel very like on edge or like antsy, but or even moody right now. And this is completely okay. Don't force yourself to like try to be patient. Just quit resisting what you're feeling is really what I'm getting for you guys. We also have fun. It says stop. When was the last time you had fun? When was the last time you took a chance and did something silly, something totally unlike you, something just for the joy of it? It's long overdue for you to let go of your analytical mind and give yourself and your soul permission to have fun. So beautiful energy, Aries. I feel like it's really trying to tell you to, you know, just let go, surrender, quit resisting, accept any emotions or energy that comes up. You can also read my blog that I've been talking about that's linked down below to understand how to do this more. But that's what I'm seeing for you guys, Aries. Let me know if it related down below. And we're going to move on to Taurus. What's up, Taurus? So this is your solar eclipse reading for the solar eclipse in Cancer 2020, one of the most, well, basically the most powerful eclipse of the year. So this is happening in your 3rd house. The 3rd house is basically your communication, your local environment, your neighborhoods, how you like your skills, your siblings, your neighbors, your cousins, any distant relatives, things like that. Your early childhood education, even meetings, just all these different kinds of things. So also short travels as well. So some of you guys could be going on a short trip sometime soon or around this time. With Mercury retrograde here, I would just kind of be careful. Make sure you're doing the speed limit. Make sure you have your seatbelts on, that you drive, you know, being aware and stuff like that. Also, it's squaring Mars in your 11th house of friends, social circles, other people, all of that. So there may be some tension when it comes to communications with some of the people in your life, friends in your life, social circles, distant relatives, cousins, siblings, something along those lines. There's some kind of tension here, something that needs to change. Mars also cuts through things, and with it passing Neptune, I feel like it's almost like cutting through some kind of delusion maybe that you had been in for a while with your perception of reality, or how you are perceiving your environment around you. And this could be also a huge change in your environment in some way, or the things that you do on an everyday basis, or the people that you talk to in your life. For your cards, we have the card Receive. It says, you are a kind and loving soul who constantly reaches out and gives to others, but now it's time for you to learn how to graciously receive. Just as with the ebb and flow of the tides, the art of giving and receiving is the natural law and order of the universe. Beautiful. I like that, because the 11th house is the house of receiving. So there definitely could be, once you kind of work these things out, there definitely could be some kind of like gift for working these things out, or some kind of clarity that happens, or something along those lines. We also have surrender your attachment to results. It says the formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. Very interesting. So the 11th house is kind of results, and the 3rd house is kind of your skills. So there definitely could be some tension here with your success, or something that you were supposed to receive that you didn't. And I think this new moon is kind of like, quit fighting it, surrender to it, and let go. It's going to work out exactly as it's supposed to. Like, there's nothing you can do about it, so don't worry about it. And if there is something you can do about it, then why are you worrying about it? Do it. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm getting for you guys, Taurus. You can let me know below if that related to you in any way. And we're going to move on to Gemini. What's going on, Gemini? Welcome to your Cancer Solar Eclipse 2020 reading. Okay, so wow, this solar eclipse is happening in your 2nd house of Cancer. Your 2nd house of Cancer. So this is all about your needs, your values, where you feel safe. Also, you know, what has meaning for you, what has worth to you, self-worth, self-care, you know, your money, your income, your finances, and any kind of attachments that you have to things in your life. So, and this is aspecting Mars in your 10th house in Pisces, which deals with your career, authority figures, the world, your public life, your achievements, your goals, and all of those kinds of things. So, and also your reputation. So I think Gemini here, there could be, this solar eclipse could be highlighting a really powerful issue you have with some kind of fear, safety, need, self-worth issue, or something like that, that you feel isn't being addressed, or that it's like a fear for you to do with your achievements, or to do with what you feel is your purpose, or, you know, success, or authority figures, or your goals in life. So this Cancer eclipse is definitely highlighting, you know, what you may need to work on with your within yourself. Now, this could also be, you know, somebody of authority or something like that in your life that you're having issues or confrontations with as well. But this is a time to really kind of go within and allow yourself to, because I feel like there's, what I'm kind of getting here, Gemini, is that you feel like you have to change what makes you feel safe, or change your security, or change something that has a lot of meaning for you in order to either have success, gain some kind of recognition or achievement, or feel, you know, wanted or something, desired or something. And that's not necessarily the case. You may not be seeing it quite clearly, Gemini. So I feel like what this is kind of, you know, wanting you to do is to really kind of go within and surrender to the needs, the desires, the, you know, value, the meanings that you have, and, you know, honestly, and be able to integrate them, be able to understand them, show compassion and empathy for yourself, okay? So for your cards, we have memories coming up here. It says, your memories are like diamonds in the treasure chest of your spirit. More and more memories are arising within you. Remember that happier moments with your loved ones who are here in the spirit world. For neither time nor distance can stop the energy of love that you have for one another. Wow, okay. So yeah, there could be a lot of memories coming up for you around this eclipse. We also have surrender to the idea that you can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own feeling. So Gemini, some of you guys could be struggling with a certain person or situation in your life, and you really want to change things for them or change them. And, you know, you may have to, you may even be like, this person may have, you know, you may have memories with this person. This person could be passed away and you just wish you could change it or something. And I think this, you know, part of something, I'm not really seeing this in the chart. I'm more so just seeing this in the cards. So this may not be for all of you, but part of a message here for someone or some of you is that, you know, there's something that you guys may need to surrender to that involves trying to control or fix a situation, or there may be something that you're powerless over that you really don't want to admit that you're powerless over. But I promise you, once you accept that powerlessness and you admit that powerlessness in this situation, you're going to feel 10 times better. Your mind will clear, and then you will be able to see options that you couldn't see before. And I have all kinds of information on how to do this within yourself in my new blog that's posted down below in the description. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys, Gemini, and that is all of the signs. And we are at the end of the video. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly, truly appreciate you. And yeah, I love you guys. Let me know what you guys thought down below. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.